Hey folks, today we are back with another session and we are having our expert speaker Saranan Ganeshan. So he is a senior engineer at Lassen and Talbot Infotech and also an Azure IOT certified specialist and an A certified specialist. He also worked as a programmer for Cognizant for almost 2 years and also worked for Tech Mahindra for almost 3 years. So thanks for coming, sir. So let us start our session with our experienced speaker.
Yeah, hi Gautam, and everyone present here. Yeah, good evening for all. It's been a great pleasure for me to deliver this question to you all. Actually, I hope so. This question will be very much interesting, and I have and I hope actually you can learn something new today regarding the Azure IoT services. What are there in these? What are the services we have been using in Azure for IoT actually? Thank you, Gautam, for hosting me. Actually, okay.
Thank you, sir.
This question will be comprises of 20 minutes of PPT session plus 20 minutes of a small hands-on session to understand how to send the telemetry data to your Azure IoT app and routings and that kind of topics will be covered actually. Okay, so if anyone has any doubts, means actually you can ping me in the private chat actually, and so that actually I can address those questions and in between the session actually. Okay. Okay, let's go into the meeting. I am sharing my screen, so it will be visible for you with a good TPT actually. Okay, once my screen is visible, yeah, I hope so my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay, before going into Azure, their IoT services and all, actually, first of all, we want to know what is Internet of Things, because I hope so some new faces also will be there in this session to understand. First of all, what is Internet of Things actually? Okay, Internet of Things is nothing but actually it's a devices which are in the network and they will be connected to each other by means of some protocols actually. Okay, so if you see, when these devices are connected to each other, actually they will be sending some data to the cloud or some to the from the network to the some on-prem data center actually. Okay, so this process of uh, collection of these devices to a particular network, it's called Internet of Things or connected things actually. Okay, that's what actually we have mentioned here, a network of internet connected devices that communicate embedded sensor data to the cloud for centralized processing is called Internet of Things actually. And moreover, if you see actually in Internet of Things actually, we have two way of communication actually, that I can send the data from my device to the cloud also through some internet, and I can also send the data from my cloud to my device also. So it follows a two-way communication actually. Okay, so this is called in Internet of Things and how we communicate with the devices in these networks actually. Okay, and next slide, if you see, the IoT for consumers and businesses actually. For example, if you see, we, uh, we have some device characteristics which needs to be uh, satisfied by the devices which needs to be connected to the network, or they need to take part in this IoT ecosystem actually. So in that case, if you see, there are some device characteristics which has to be followed if a device can be included in this IoT ecosystem. So they have facility to connect to the internet actually. For example, we can connect to the internet by means of Wi-Fi protocols or through actually some other protocols like MQTT, etc. Actually, okay, and then actually through LAN also we can connect as a wired network. So and then the devices which is connected to the internet has to be a secured one actually. It should follow some secure protocols to make the make sure that the data which is coming to my device also it will be as secure data, and my data which I am ingesting to the cloud from my device also will be in a secured format actually. And my devices should possess a smart features. What is my smart feature actually? For example, device onboarding. Yeah, for example, if I have some 10,000 devices actually in my device that has the capability to integrate to a particular cloud platform, like Azure, AWS, or GCP with some SDK. So that smart features it has to implement, and then the communication capabilities. The data which is coming from the sensors has to be ingested to these devices which are taking part in this IoT ecosystem. Okay, so in that case, if you see actually this the communication capabilities or will be it needs to be satisfied here, because in the in different workshops or in different shop floor, if you see actually that sensors or the assets will be connected to these devices by means of some protocols like Modbus or CAN bus actually, or OPCUA, etc., like that actually. So that communication capabilities has to be there in these devices actually. And then your device should be configurable, and it should be programmable actually. Okay, without configurable or programmable actually, a device can't fulfill to be in the IoT ecosystem actually. So these are some six device characteristics which needs to be followed for a device to take part in a IoT ecosystem actually. And if you see actually consumer versus business implementation, that you see intentions and goals and data and analytics. What is my intentions and goals and data and analytics actually? um, Intentions and goals, if you see actually, the consumer has to be have some good intentions, and they should have a clear pathway and goals to be achieved. And from the business point of implementation, the data which is coming from this devices or the assets will be used for some data analytics in the future actually. So for this purposes only, the devices or the data which is coming into this IoT ecosystem will be performing the will be performing, and will make sure that they are valid to this uh, entire ecosystem actually. Okay, what are the strategies of implementing in IoT? And because yeah, they need to follow some strategies to implement the on IoT use case actually. Okay, so if you see, um, if you see actually, if a person who wants to implement an IoT based the solution to their shop floor or any logistics applications, means actually he or she should needs to have a thought process of process considerations and design considerations actually. What is my process considerations and design consideration? Design consideration means actually it will consist of what kind of technical strategy or technical stack we need to follow in our application, in this IoT application, and then what kind of IoT architecture approach they need to be provide for the ecosystem which we have in our shop floor. And also we need to see the governance of the solution, and also need to check we have this sufficient amount of team members for this implement this particular IoT solution. So from design point of consideration, you have they need to take care of these two points actually. Okay, from process point of consideration actually, if you see, we have a yeah we need to be in clear that actually the IoT solution which we are implementing actually uh, will give us a long term or short term kind of data or goals or any problem statement that gone to solve actually. Okay, and then any IoT solution should be a phased approach, because phase by phase only we can improve the solution, instead of implementing the entire IoT solution on a single phase. Because once a data comes from your assets and pushed to the cloud, only we can come to know what kind of analytics and data processing we can do with our telemetry data which we got from our devices. And then also, yeah, if you see, and then also if you see actually, our approach towards the AI and other domains can be extended. So your phased approach process should be implemented in your IoT solutions actually, which are going to be get started in the shop floor or work floor of a particular organization. Okay, and then if you see, we are we are going to see some interesting IoT solution architecture, which tells you about what kind of services can be implemented, and what those services of Azure can do in this IoT ecosystem actually. Okay, and then if you see, I will show the architecture first, so it will be easy for you guys. Yeah, this is in architecture actually, which is widely followed in all the cloud-based IoT systems. But nowadays, actually, we are also following a hybrid-based IoT architecture. But yeah, regarding that, I will be covering in the upcoming sessions of our developer community. So yeah, if you see here, actually, we have a mm, IoT device as a core subsystem actually, because from our IoT device only actually we need to pull the data, and then this data which is coming from this IoT devices will be now pushed to the cloud gateway. Actually, cloud gateway is nothing but your IoT app. If you see here, actually, the two-way system, the narrow mark which I have been mentioned here, it's like actually it's cloud to device and device to cloud communication actually. So whenever the data comes from your IoT device, it will first flow to your cloud gateway, and then actually it will be routed to the cold path or the hot path actually from your IoT app. From once your telemetry data comes to your IoT hub actually, it needs to be routed to some other services like given tabs or storage accounts, or time series insight, or given grid, etc. Actually, so then only the data which is coming from the which came from the devices will move to these other services. Or else actually you're yeah, if you are not performing any routing activities or endpoint activities actually, your data from the cloud gateway will not be moving to other services of your Azure ecosystem actually. Okay, once you collect those telemetry data in your cloud gateway, um, it needs to be sent to a hot path and to cold path yeah, it needs to be sent to the hot pot and cold pot these services. What is going to be a hot pot and cold pot here actually? The data, the streaming data which comes from the IoT hub, which will be sent to the streaming services like stream analytics and event hubs, or for some to perform some real-time activities are called as a hot pot. Okay, and then actually if you see that the same data which is coming from IoT hub will be sent to cold path actually, to some storage accounts like blobs, etc. actually. So because yeah, why we calling them as a cold path means actually the data from this IoT hub the IoT hub can be used for some batch processing in the future, or it can be used as a training model for some services like Azure ML, etc. Actually, okay. So so the data can be moved from IoT hub into two different parts actually. Whichever data you want to see as a real time, we can get those data as a streaming data from given tab and stream analytics, and you can see them in the see them as a real time the data monitoring in the dashboard actually. But if you want to utilize those big data for some batch processing actually, yeah, you can actually take them for the storage account and make them utilized for some other use cases or some other operations for ML or AI kind of activities actually. Okay, this is a difference, and this is a important phase of the uh, Azure IoT ecosystem. And then actually, if you see, once we got the data in the storage or stream processing in the cold part or hard part, actually, it should move to some business integration things like data cleansing or data aggregation as per the business needs. The data should be processed and it should be stored in some databases like NoSQL or SQL, and then actually from there actually the data can be moved to your UI and reporting tools by means of some APIs or SQL queries actually. So this is the entire core subsystems of our IoT architecture. It can be classified into three types called things, and then actually insights, and then actions actually. Okay, so these are this is about the IoT architecture actually. And then if you see actually this is the entire explanation about how the data is flowing from our device to the application actually, which I have been explained now only with the help of the architecture actually. So an IT solution is all about the data. The data flows from things and is processed to storage, routing, and analysis to get actions and displays. That's what we have seen in the architecture actually. If you see in this storage, it includes in different locations for different needs. Routing means make decision on what data should go to which target and when actually. And then analysis means transforms inputs to outputs to produce insights while maintaining the original data actually. So if you compare that architecture with these points, means you can yeah, be able to understand what is each and every phase of the architecture tells us actually. Okay, and then if you see yeah, yeah, there are some IoT hardware components which have been widely used. In that, actually, if you see, we have two types of devices: IP enabled devices and non IP enabled devices. As of now, actually, if you see yeah, all our that cameras are coming that monitoring cameras are coming with an IP enabled, because IP enabled devices are very easy to integrate with our Azure ecosystem, as like on non IP enabled devices also. But non IP enabled devices need some provisions to be done to be connected to our cloud environment actually. And then these are the IoT devices actually. And then if you see the IoT edge devices like industrial gateways kind of things like Dell 3000, Dell 5000 series and all actually, or also have some they have their inbuilt communication systems like Modbus or CAN bus or OPCS servers to communicate with the cloud and the assets in which they have been connected each other actually. Okay, and then if you see uh, we have some yeah, for example in this IoT edge gateways actually, yeah, yeah, if you see they have different types of OS. Actually, they will be having their inbuilt OS, which is running either through Windows 10 IoT core, Ubuntu core, or some open source actually the Linux flavored operating systems actually. Okay, and then these IoT edge devices will support the programming languages like C, C++, Java, C Sharp, Python, etc. Actually, and then actually, if you see this, yeah, for example, if I want to push my data from this edge devices to the IoT hub, means actually I need some device SDKs or device collision SDKs which needs to interact with my which needs to be interact with my yeah, which needs to be interact with my the programming languages like Java, Python, etc., and so to send the data to the cloud actually. Okay, and then if you see the actually we are going to see what are the features available in this Azure IoT hub. Actually, first of all, what is my Azure IoT hub? Azure IoT hub is nothing but a gateway which allows the devices to take the data from the sensors, and it is a gateway kind of thing which allows the data to cross through, which is coming from outside of the Azure ecosystem. Okay, and then actually if you see some of the important features of Azure IoT about security, scalability, routing, service integration, device management, and monitoring. What is my security? Yeah, yeah, if I want to send those data, send some telemetry data from IoT from the devices to IoT hub, means actually yeah, they need to yeah, follow some security their protocols of they need to do some shared access policies like deed right, etc., like that actually. Okay, and these things I will yeah, show you, yeah, where I'm performing um the hands-on time actually. And then if you see scalability, all the Azure IoT have their auto scalable option. Yeah, for example, if my project sends project as S1 tracking IoT hub, but my devices send some yeah, some 66 lakh messages, but my S1 tracking IoT hub will take only 4 lakh messages only, means actually that time if you see actually my IoT hub will auto scale their inability to consume that extra 2 lakh messages from my devices actually. Okay, and then if you see device management actually, we can create a device, and we can give the device primary connection string to the physical device to authenticate that physical device with my Azure ecosystem. Like that actually we have the monitoring and service integration as well. Some tools like Azure Defender or Azure Synapse Analytics also used for monitoring and for service integrations as well. Actually, okay, these are the features of Azure IoT Hub. And then if you see actually, if you see actually the things which are actually this IoT ecosystem of Azure devolves around only with this IoT hub and the Edge system. Okay, the hands-on session which I am going to perform now actually will give a clear-cut idea how to send the data from a simulator to the IoT hub, and from IoT hub we are going to learn how to create a device, and the device can make a contact with this simulator. Since we don't have a physical device here actually, I am making use of simulator to and act as a physical device which sends the data by means of a symmetry key and authentication with my IoT hub. And then from that actually, once an authentication is done, the data will move to my IoT hub. From there I will show you how to route those data to hard part and cold part, for example in given tab and the storage account. Okay, yeah, like this only we are going to see now actually. Okay, and then if you see yeah, since in the PPT got over actually, till now anyone has any doubt? Yeah, before going into the hands-on session, any questions, guys? Okay, I am actually going to the hands-on session. I hope so. My screen is visible to all actually. Okay, since actually this is a URL for our Azure portal, portal.azure.com. Actually, once you click this, actually it will it will ask for the credentials. Since I am already logged in, actually I don't want to give the credentials. But the person who doesn't have any account with Azure can go for 30 days free trial Azure account with some $200 credits actually. But for this thing, actually you need a credit card. But if you are a student and you have a valid college ID, without a credit card itself, we can able to achieve this actually. Since I got some free classes from Microsoft, my subscription has been named as Azure Pass subscription sponsorship, and thank you from Microsoft for that. But the students who want to use this Azure subscriptions, yeah, without any credit card usability means actually you need to go to add, and then actually you can see Azure for students. Select this offer, and actually you can give your college ID, and you can enjoy all the Azure free Azure services whichever having the free tier for 12 months actually. So make this wisely, make yeah, use of this wisely. And yeah, if anyone has any doubts in activating this in Azure for the students the subscription means, actually please connect me via LinkedIn or to our yeah, organizer Gautam. Actually I'm yeah ready to uh, help you guys actually. Okay, and then we will go to the actual picture. First of all, yeah, whenever actually you guys want to start a project or you want to do something with Azure services means create a resource group actually. For example, you need to create a resource group, because resource group is a place which holds all the uh, services for that particular project or particular TOCs actually. Okay, and resource group also helps you to maintaining the access control for the people who are all working in your project. Yeah, for example, if you are owner of a resource group, you can decide which services under my resource group should be given access to the people who are all are working on it. So uh, that topics might be covered under some Azure infrastructure services topics actually. So when I take a workshop on that, actually, yeah, I'll be explaining that in detail. But whenever you create a project, actually, please create a resource group. Under this resource group, and you need to create your services actually. Okay, I will make the resource group as something like Azure Workshop IoT. Then I can give my East US. East US is fine actually. Tags I won't give usually, but it's for no whoever maintain that particular resource group. It's like a notepad kind of thing actually. And if I click create, and resource group will be created actually. Okay, if you see here, you have access control. If you are a owner of my, if you see my access actually, no user has been assigned. If you want to view my access means it will show as owner. I hope so. It's loading. See, I'm the service administrator of this particular thing. So I have access to my tiers to access to my service level authentication things to give access to my DPS as well according to the rules in my project actually. Okay, so now we create a resource group. Next we are going to create a what it will actually we are going to create a Azure IoT hub. Create IoT hub. Choose your resource group. Then enter the name of the uh, IoT hub. Should be unique one. East US, any region you can choose, but I chose in East US. In networking, if you see, I am going to use public access. Public access means actually my IoT hub will take the data from internet actually. Okay, but if I give private access actually, I need to create a private endpoint. Whatever devices which are connected to this private endpoint, that only will send the data to this IoT hub actually. Okay, for example, the devices which are bound to your organization only, which are bound to your network only, wants to send data to IoT hub means this private access can be utilized. Okay, and but we are now going for the public access since we don't have any organizations here, and then you need to go for management. Whenever if you are going to perform any workshop kind of things, or any POCs kind of things, actually you need to choose a free tier actually. So it will help. It won't discuss in reducing our free credits. And then actually, yeah, if you're using a pay as you go subscription model, it won't guide you on yeah, hands for with the cost actually. Okay, so these are the, but if you see, if you choose free test, some of the features like defender from IoT and all will be half, and it won't be available, it won't be available as well actually. So each and every tires of your IoT hub will have some features. If I give S2, if you see, defender for IoT is enabled, and I can get some 6 lakhs messages, 60 lakh messages, I hope so, it's, yeah, 60 lakh messages per day actually. So and if you see the cost, it will come 18,000 per month. If I go for S1, it will be actually 4 lakh messages per day with 1,800, and then actually for this also so you usually people will go for free tier if you want to perform a POC. And moreover, keep in mind, you can't create more than one free tier based IoT hub in your subscription actually. Okay, and next, if you see, I can go for tags. Tags I usually won't give, and then actually if it will validate and it will create an IoT hub actually. Okay, once my validation is passed, I can click create to create an IoT hub. It will make some time for deployment. Meanwhile, we create our the deployment for IoT hub is over. We'll set up the simulator actually. We have a dedicated online simulator which is given by Microsoft actually, which is, I will show you, Raspberry Pi simulator here, which is, which they have written in Node.js. This entire the program which will ingest your temperature and humidity data from this device to the cloud actually. And if you see here actually, the protocol which they have been used in MQTT actually. Node.js is such a good language actually. If you know that actually, it will be so good to uh, write this protocol based programs and all. And it will have less number of lines of code when compared to Python and .NET Core. But actually, if you see, young nowadays, most of the people are concentrating on the Python. But if it's better to get it Node.js thing, since Node.js is yeah, very much lightweight when compared to Python packages actually. Okay, and then if you see, here in this part actually, if you see connection string, in this connection string actually you need to replace our the IoT about the device connection string, and then actually they need to give the device ID, whatever we are creating there actually in our IoT app. Okay, let's see actually whether my IoT app got created or not. Yeah, it's got created, and if you see, this is our IoT apps workspace. If you see in this workspace, you can see what is your host name, under which resource group the IoT app belongs, and which subscription, and what is it pricing and scale tier we have actually. Okay, and then it also has some statistics like how many devices we have sent to cloud, and we have how many connected devices are active, and then how much total IoT devices are sending the data actually. So these kind of statistics we can able to see it here. And then actually if you see, we have and again we have this access control to whoever you want to give access to this particular IoT. We can give the access, and if you see here, devices and IoT in this in this workshop, we are not going to IoT because I'm actually going to do some good hands-on workshop with Azure Percept using for the image classification. So that time actually I will be using this IoT concepts. So now we are going to deal only with the devices part actually. If I give add device, I want to give the device ID like AZ workshop device, and then actually I can generate the keys as symmetric key itself actually instead of x509. A device got created, and actually I need to copy the primary connection string of this device, and I need to give it here actually in my simulator. Then I need to copy the device ID. Okay, we'll copy it from here itself actually. Once I start running this simulator, it will start sending the data actually, your temperature data and your humidity data. Okay, so let it send it. Meanwhile, we'll create a storage account for cold part and event up for the hot part. First, I will create a event up namespace. Okay, so you can see data in both the services after routing was completed actually. Okay, we can give Azure workshop IoT event hub. Okay, and then actually pricing there always I will go for the basic one for my workshops. Then network, again network public or private access. We do private access. It's not available here since it will be available only for the premium and the standard namespaces. And then actually if you go for tags and for the go for review, it will check for check from the validation point of view. Um, my validation is succeeded. This is my event hub namespace. Once my event hub namespace created, only I need to create my event hub actually inside that actually. So that only makes a sense actually. This event hub, one event hub namespace can contain n number of event hubs based upon their pricing tier actually. Okay, and we can also have one consumer group per hour per event hub actually. Meanwhile, this deployment happens. We will create a storage account parallelly, which will contain our blob containers. We'll give storage. issues. I can make it as a locally related use to reduce my cost actually and standard. And then actually if you go for advanced, it will be a default one. Networking, again, we are going for public endpoint. Data protection, it's actually encryption. Data protection will be of same thing, and then we'll go for React and review plus create actually. Okay, we'll check whether my IoT running final validation. Yeah, validation pass, and if I click create, my storage account will get created actually. Initializing deployment, my storage account and my yeah, event hub namespace got created. If you see, actually, I can go here and create my first event hub actually. I can get create. My first event hub got created. If you see here, there is no messages has been routed since we are not configured the endpoints and routing actually. Okay, and then if you see, my storage account also got created. No, it's getting created. Deployment is in action. I hope so. Deployment is completed for storage accounts. If I refresh here, I can see the storage account here, and I'm going inside, and I will be creating a content blob container for us actually. Because inside this container only, actually, I can give a container anonymous thing, and inside this container only, I can be able to see my uh, data getting stored actually. Container. Okay, and then actually, if you see, um, okay, we'll need to go to our yeah, IoT workshop. Sorry, our IoT hub which have been created. Then we need to go for message routing. In that message routing only, we can create. We need to create a custom endpoints for event hubs and storage account separately. First, we'll do it for storage account. Add storage endpoint. Give some name actually. AZ endpoint and AZ storage EP. And then actually we need to pick a container that we have already created a storage account. From there we can create a pick a container, and then actually we can encoding format should be Avro or JSON, but usually people used to give JSON since it is easy to consume from the Python data processing. And then actually you can create it. Our storage endpoint will get created actually. Once this storage endpoint is created, this endpoint has been mapped with my routing queries, and then actually you can see some data gets real-time data gets flowed into the event hubs actually. And sorry, the storage account actually. Likewise, actually, we are going to create a endpoint for event hub also now actually. Now I need to add a. Okay, I hope so. The free tier can give only one custom endpoint actually for everything. So we need to either choose the storage account or event hub, but I can go with storage account route. First we'll complete the storage account route actually, and then I will show you how the data flows to event hub as well actually. Storage route endpoint as this one actually, and routing query should be true, and we can save. Usually routing query, if you see actually we have we can filter the data by means of your system properties and application properties or device twins actually. So if you see here, once my route is completed, I will show you what is a device twin and which you have been widely used and what information we have in the device twins actually. Um, Once our route for storage account got completed, you can be able to see the data in my storage account after 3 minutes of time. So once till that actually I will explain what is device twins and then device management and all actually. My route is got succeeded. Okay, and then actually if you see here the device which we created, um, have a device twin. See this, we have a device ID, and these are called as the system properties of the device twin, and these are called as desired properties actually. And then these are called the reported properties and what are the capabilities of this particular device actually. So if you see device twin, it's completely different from digital twin. Please don't compare this device twin with your digital twin. Device twin contains the properties which are associated to your device which you created actually. It will be there for your edge device as well and for an IoT device as well actually. Okay, and then if you see my routing got completed and we are waiting for the data in my storage account. Let's see here in our container whether we got some data or not. I hope so. It will take some time, 2 minutes of time to get the data in my container actually. Take some time. So we will check after a minute. Meanwhile, actually, I can address the questions of you guys actually if you have anything. Any question, guys? Actually, till now you guys have. Okay, let's check whether we got the data or not. It take some time. Approximately 3 minutes it will take actually, since we have been calculated during our projects actually. It will take approximately 3 minutes for the data which comes from this accumulator to the for particular blob container actually. So we need to wait till that. No other go. Hmm. In the part of event hub, once this is complete, I need to create another endpoint actually for showing the data in the endpoint event hubs. See here, we got the data in our blob approximately in 2.5 minutes. I hope so. And then actually, if you that we are already mentioned that in which format the blob will be there. And if you see, I can download this data and show. But the body of this JSON will be. Oh, sorry, it was not shown. Where is my downloads? Okay, let it be. Where is my downloads? Here I can show you kind of. data we have actually. See here, my body bot got day 64 encoded. So I need to decode, and I will show you how the data came actually. See here, if I decode this, I will get a JSON structure actually. See, so I got my message in my blob storage in the form of day 64 decoded side actually. Okay, so yeah, this is how the data flows to our control path. Now I will show you how the data flows into new one tab as a hot path actually. Okay, so if you see, I need to change the endpoint. I need to create an endpoint for a given tab, and then actually I need to proceed with the things. Delete this one. Before deleting endpoint, I need to delete my route for a cold part, since two endpoints are not allowed in this free test subscription actually. But if you're going for S1 or S2 tier based in IoT hubs, this issue won't come actually. So don't worry, you can create n number of up to 100 nodes you can create actually in that places. Okay, so I can delete this endpoint so that I can create a new endpoint. Okay, now I can create an endpoint for event hub. Event hub namespace is already there, and event hub instance also we created already. Key based authentication, and we need to create the endpoint. I created an endpoint for given tab, and then I will create a route for this thing actually to route the message to my endpoint actually. Event hub route, and then actually if you see endpoints, and if you can give this event hub endpoint, and then I can give save it. Now we can see after this route has been completed actually, we can see the data in my event hub actually in a hotpot. That data which comes in the event hub is a streaming data, so you can take that data directly using a PySpark or a any other data processing framework which process your streaming data actually, and you can decode it and encode it, and you can insert it to it then respective databases actually. But if you see from job point of view, it will access a batch processing, and it will have some lag actually. But so for if you want to see a real-time data into your dashboard, then given up gives streaming only is a getter option actually. Okay, so I created a route. Now we will see in our event hub. See, my devices, my messages are came here actually. Whichever message I am sending it from here actually will be seen here actually. If I want to capture those messages, means actually I need to write a code in my PySpark. I need to process this, capture these messages as a data frame, and then I need to process it and aggregate it according to the business KPIs, and I need to insert to my table. Okay, so that's all, guys. Actually, about the hands-on actually. So In this session, I hope so you might have learned what is IoT and what are the basic services of Azure IoT, and you also learned in the hands-on session how to create a IoT app, the resource groups, and how to load the data from the IoT up to various services like a event app and storage account actually. Okay, so I hope so. This might be a very much interesting discussion for you guys. I hope so. This session might be had been an interesting session for you all guys. So yeah. Yeah, if you have any queries in last 5 minutes we have actually, I can address your queries actually. Anyone has yeah, any queries?
So, so some people have asked doubts in the chat box.
Can I store the data in storage table instead of JSON files in storage container? Actually, no. Actually, we can store the data as a storage container. If you want to store the JSON files in storage table, means yeah, you need to write Azure functions, and from there you can take the data and you can ingest the data to your storage table. Actually, is it fine, Prasad? Yeah, can we add a GPS device to IoT? Yeah, you can provision a GPS device to an IoT app. Actually, yeah, any type of devices can be provisioned to an IoT app. Actually, yeah, because if we are doing a project in a logistics space with some GPS devices, and it has been they provisioned accordingly with an IoT app. Actually, anyone has any doubts?
Sir,
Okay,
it's almost time, so we need
so we
to.
can end this. Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Gautam. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Thank you, Gautam, for giving me this opportunity, and
Yeah, okay,
thank you
sir.
all who has joined in this stream. Actually, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.